They both seek to bring balance, but which one of them burns brighter? Welcome to Watch Mojo, and in this installment of Versus, we're pitting two of Avatar's most iconic characters against one another, the titular Airbender Aang and the banished prince Zuko. Round 1, Origins. Raised amongst the peaceful air nomads, Aang was a naive yet good-spirited kid who just wanted to have fun, only to discover that he was in fact the latest incarnation of the all-powerful Avatar, and that it would be his destiny to bring peace to all.
Normally, we would have told you of your identity when you turned 16, but there are troubling signs. Storm clouds are gathering.
I fear that war may be upon us, young Avatar.
We need you, Aang.
Terrified at the prospect of losing all he loved because of his new responsibilities, Aang and his flying bison Appa fled only to be caught in a terrible storm and freeze together in stasis in an iceberg. 100 years go by, and when he's freed of his icy imprisonment, Aang discovers the world has fallen into chaos and needs its Avatar more than ever.
You turned your back on the world.
Don't yell at him! Aang would never turn his back on anyone.
Oh, he wouldn't, huh? Then I guess I must have imagined the last 100 years of war and suffering.
Born into the Fire Nation's royal line as the only son of Fire Lord Ozai, Zuko stood apart from the others due to his noble heart and strong sense of honor, even if it was layered under a mountain of stubbornness and an easily provoked temper.
Lieutenant, you'd better learn some respect, or I will teach it to you.
Unfortunately, after speaking out against a military ploy that would endanger Fire Nation soldiers, Zuko is exiled from his home, but not before having the side of his face horrifically burnt by his tyrant of a father.
You will learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher.
This cruel twist of fate would send Zuko around the world in the hope of hunting down the Avatar, all for the chance to restore his honor and earn his way back home. While both of these backstories have elements of tragedy to them, it's Zuko's banishment and his new pained position that resonate stronger. Admit it, you saw him in a whole new light after witnessing how he got that scar.
I looked away.
Winner, Zuko. Round 2, Abilities. Like his predecessors, Aang is capable of mastering all 4 elements, with the results often being devastating for any unprepared foe.
It worked! It worked!
He's a genius when it comes to manipulating air, and though he struggled initially with fire, by the end of the war, he was able to control all in perfect unity. Of course, there's also the Avatar State, a defensive mechanism that allows Aang to push his bending prowess to 11, channeling the strength and wisdom of his predecessors in the process. The only drawback being that, should he die in this form, the Avatar cycle would be forever broken.
If you are killed in the Avatar's state, the reincarnation cycle will be broken, and the Avatar will cease to exist.
Naturally, Zuko's skills when it comes to firebending are top tier, able to unleash flames from any part of his body to various degrees. Like the rest of his people, the potency of his bending is increased exponentially with the phenomenon that is Sozin's Comet, at which point he's able to conjure a sea of fire like it was nothing.
I'm sorry it has to end this way, brother.
No, you're not.
He's also very adept at physical combat, especially when it comes to dual-wielding those swords of his. What makes Zuko stand out from the others, however, is his ability to redirect lightning.
If you let the energy in your own body flow, the lightning will follow it. You must create a pathway from your fingertips, up your arm to your shoulder, then down into your stomach. The stomach is the source of energy in your body.
Taught to him by his beloved Uncle Iroh, Zuko's talent for sending these bolts back is something that has caught even the likes of Fire Lord Ozai off guard. Zuko can certainly hold his own in the fight, and the boost afforded to him by Sozin's Comet is a spectacle in its own right, but even that can't compare to the sight of Avatar Aang bending all 4 elements at once after fully opening his chakras. Winner, Aang. Round 3, Destiny. Despite initial hesitation at the amount of responsibility, Aang eventually accepted his destiny to master all 4 elements, defeat the Fire Lord, and bring peace to the world.
Can't make guesses about how things would have turned out if I hadn't run away. I'm here now and I'm going to make the most of it.
That's not to say it was easy. Between learning the other bending styles and dealing with no shortage of villainous forces, there were also his own internal struggles. Killing anyone, even the Fire Lord, was against his beliefs, and relinquishing all earthly attachments, including his love for Katara, in order to control the Avatar state was a long and heartbreaking process.
You must gain balance within yourself before you can bring balance to the world.
Thankfully, Aang still found a way to restore balance without compromising who he was as a person. To say Zuko's path was a rocky one would be an understatement. He had to completely reverse his own initial belief system. For the longest time, he was adamant that the only way for him to be happy would be to capture the Avatar and earn his father's admiration.
Because their honor didn't hinge on the Avatar's capture. Mine does. This coward's 100 years in hiding are over.
But due to the wisdom of his devoted uncle, his own deeply buried moral compass, as well as the many hard lessons learned, he eventually found his true path. Most of the time, he was his own worst enemy, even betraying Iroh at one point to make his original goal a reality.
I betrayed Uncle.
No, he betrayed you.
It was only when he was able to fully comprehend who he was that he found the strength to rebel against his upbringing, join Team Avatar, and become the compassionate Fire Lord the world desperately needed.
I understand.
While we loved every moment of watching Aang excel as the Avatar and fulfill his destiny, deep down, we all knew he was going to best Ozai in the end. Zuko, on the other hand, made so many potent alignment changes that to see where he ended up was nothing short of spellbinding.
How can you possibly justify a duel with a child?
It was to teach you respect.
It was cruel, and it was wrong.
Then you've learned nothing.
No, I've learned everything. And I've had to learn it on my own.
Winner, Zuko. Round 4, Final Battles.
You were right about what Katara needed. Violence wasn't the answer.
It never is.
Then I have a question for you. What are you gonna do when you face my father?
With the future of the Earth Kingdom at stake, it fell to an able yet deeply troubled Aang to take on Fire Lord Ozai, who by this point had become a living inferno thanks to the strength of Sozin's Comet.
You're weak, just like the rest of your people. They did not deserve to exist in this world, in my world. Prepare to join them. Prepare to die!
Even with all the elements at his command, Aang's lack of bloodlust constantly puts him on the defensive, at least until a convenient blow to the back reopened his chakras and allowed him to re-enter the Avatar state once again. Merging all elements at once, Aang dominated the Phoenix King in a way that put all other animated showdowns to shame, concluding with the unexpected yet fitting sight of him using energy bending to strip Ozai of his firebending.
In the era before the Avatar, we bent not the elements, but the energy within ourselves.
With his now psychotic sister set to rule the Fire Nation, Zuko challenged Azula to one last Agni Kai.
Wait, you want to be Fire Lord? Fine, let's settle this. Just you and me, brother. The showdown that was always meant to be. Agni Kai!
You're on.
While they had dueled before, this was on a whole other level, since Sozin's Comet had accelerated their flames to such monumental degrees, it was akin to two dragons battling it out. Combined with Zuko's calm and tempered mindset, he wasn't only able to match Azula's ferocity, but also turned the tide of the Fire Fest in his favor.
No lightning today? What's the matter? Afraid I'll redirect it?
At least until he took a bolt of lightning right to the chest to save Katara from harm, which in its own way served as the purest example of just how far he had come as a person. Zuko's sibling showdown made for one of the show's greatest battles. It's just that Aang vs Ozai was the definitive fight scene to come out of Western animation, one that brought this legendary series to its wholly satisfying conclusion. Winner, Aang. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Round 5. Character Arcs. Initially choosing to flee from his responsibilities, Aang was shown to be a pure-hearted child forced to grow up too soon for the sake of a world he had supposedly abandoned.
This whole Avatar thing. Maybe the monks made a mistake.
The only mistake they made was telling you before you turned 16. But we can't concern ourselves with what was. We must act on what is.
Throw in having to learn all 4 elements and defeat the unstoppable Fire Lord before the return of Sozin's Comet, and that's a lot of pressure to put on a preteen.
Why didn't you tell us you were the Avatar?
Because I never wanted to be.
However, thanks to the devotion of his new friends and interactions with various cultures, Aang quickly matured into a splendid avatar with the wisdom to match, one capable of putting the past behind him, fully accepting his destiny, and even bringing balance to all without having to take a life.
Be warned. Opening the chakras is an intense experience, and once you begin this process, you cannot stop until all 7 are open. Are you ready?
I'll do whatever it takes.
From an embittered prince blinded by rage, all the way to a compassionate leader shaped by overcoming the hardships within his own tormented mind, there's a reason why Zuko's transition from mortal enemy to trusted ally is one of the most acclaimed in the medium.
You've always thrown everything you could at me. Well, I can take it! And now I can give it back!
He stumbled, he fell, and he made mistakes that would normally bury a person, yet due to his own personal sense of honor, he rose against it all and became a vital component in undoing the damage of his forefathers. Despite all his faults, the way in which he freed Appa, made amends with Katara, and reunited with Iroh served as some of the show's most inspiring moments.
How can you forgive me so easily? I thought you would be furious with me.
I was never angry with you. I was sad because I was afraid you lost your way.
I did lose my way.
But you found it again.
Their personal journeys are both equally compelling, and while watching Aang bring balance to a long-suffering world had us on the edge of our seats, it's Zuko's personal struggle to discover his place in it all that had us captivated from start to finish.
All hail Fire Lord Zuko!
Winner, Zuko. It was certainly a tough one, given just how stellar both of these characters are, but in the end, it was our boy Zuko who won the day, thanks to his masterful character progression, iconic moments, and complex emotional layers. Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.